$10,000 each incident. $5,000 for every 5 minutes illegally detained.
Okay. So
if detained in handcuffs, it's $100,000 per incident, $10,000 for every 5 minutes detained after. Why am I being put under arrest, though?
Welcome back to the vanbalionchannel, guys. So recently I was travelling through the deepest, darkest depths of Facebook when I came across this familiar face. Yes, this is the face of Thomas Humphrey, the softsit who I've covered about 5 times on this channel now, and thought to myself, what has this guy been up to since his last spate of arrests? Well, he's been getting arrested, of course. This time it's by Cambridge Police Department in Massachusetts.
Alright guys, so I got stopped by the Boston police. I was literally just about to head out. Just got done visiting my friend, so they look like they're like being kind of strict, so I just wanted to go live.
Sounds like this is going to be fun, and by strict he means they're not listening to his pseudo-legal nonsense.
Yeah. I actually have the Constitution in the window here, sir, and American jurisprudence, the conflicts of law. You know, I'm actually an investigator with the National Action Task Force.
Right. I don't know what that is or what that means, but
yeah.
You need to have a driver's license or some kind of registration on this car.
Yeah. I'm totally legit, sir.
I don't believe you are, sir.
Yeah.
Where are you coming from? What state?
I'm a traveler.
Yeah, what state were you traveling before this?
I just drove from South Carolina from here.
Up to here?
Yeah.
Well done, Thomas. We're not 2 minutes into the video and you've just admitted that you drove. Yes, drove from South Carolina. Not that it matters, but by your logic, you now need a license, registration and insurance.
I'm visiting a friend here in Boston.
Well, so, you have nothing on you, no ID or anything like that?
Yeah, I do. Sir, this is my private identification. I tried to hand it to you multiple times.
So, do you know what I mean?
Sir,
you don't have a driver's license?
I've canceled my contracts with the government, so you guys no longer have jurisdiction to, prosecute and tow my vehicle because it's no longer under your jurisdiction. I've canceled all my Sir, I know the Constitution, okay?
Not that you can, because that's just not how it works. But if you've cancelled all contracts with the government, then what are you doing citing the Constitution as an authority? But if you are, then you really need to look up the 10th Amendment. You might be surprised by what you read.
Hey, you don't have to reach over.
No, sir, guys, just relax, okay?
I'm fine, we're relaxed.
You're on Instagram Live. I have about 50,000 followers.
I understand.
And I don't No, sir, I'm a traveler.
I understand. Can you step out for me?
Sir, have I done anything wrong?
No, we're trying to figure that out, but right now you have no license. I don't know who you are and your car's unregistered.
Yeah, but that's not a crime, sir. So, okay, and since you are escalating, can you please get your sergeant out here?
Sure.
Thank you, sir. And since you are gonna physically remove me from my vehicle, so you have to take my notice because this is public notice to your agency, and it becomes incumbent and advantageous for you to read it because it's legally binding. From the moment I hand you this, it's legally binding. So take this, sir.
You're in the Mass Ave area. You make your way down.
So he's refusing to take my documents here.
Well, of course he is. Firstly, because he isn't required to, and secondly, your paperwork isn't worth the paper it's written on. And finally, would you freely accept paperwork from some random guy on the side of the road if you didn't need to? Because I certainly wouldn't, and I don't think you would either.
What's your name and your badge number, sir? What's your name, sir? Sir, what's your name?
My name's Al.
What's your badge number?
636.
Thank you, sir. You're the conducting officer in this incident?
Now I am. I'm calling a supervisor.
All right, here you go.
Again, I don't need that, sir.
See, that's actually illegal for him to refuse a public notice. It's actually reckless negligence because now if he violates my rights, he's liable for damages, and we will be filing damages for.
But you've cancelled all contracts with the government, supposedly, so how would you file for damages? Also, you've got a nerve bringing up reckless negligence when you're the one driving around illegally.
I'm just a traveler, man. I live in my van, dog, and I'm just standing up for my rights in a world full of oppression. I turned on my interior lights and put down my windows so you guys. Right. I'm just.
I saw the license plate.
We the people, man. You got. Yeah, you've taken an oath to protect and defend the Constitution, bro.
You just want to defend the other drivers on the road who might be, because you don't have insurance or anything.
Yeah, right? Yes, I do, sir. If you would take a minute, I have.
Show me insurance.
I am legally bonded under a silver bond. I am indemnified. Okay. I am totally legal. Okay.
Can you imagine getting into an accident with this guy? You'll be there doing the right thing, handing over your insurance details. In return, you get hit with word salad, a stack of papers, and an indefinite amount of soft-sit hoops to jump through. Or he would just hit and run. Either way, you or your insurance company foot the bill for the damage. Get this idiot off the road.
Okay, I'm trying to explain to you, sir. You're just disregarding me because, listen, you have been hired to enforce public policy. I've canceled those contracts. I am now a private.
So what do you do in the winter? Do you drive this car in the winter?
Yeah, yeah.
You shovel the roads yourself?
No, there's no.
You use the taxpayers' dollars when you want to travel in the winter.
HJR 192, Public Law 73-10. They did away with money in 1933, sir.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What'd you buy this car with?
Fiat currency, because it's the accepted method of exchange today. So.
Right, so they did away with money in 1933, but at the same time, it's the preferred method of payment today. So which is it? Both cannot be true. And the fact that your fee schedule is for dollar amounts and not the usual gold and silver nonsense makes me think that you know that everything you're saying is BS. Good on that cop for calling him out.
You know, I'm just trying to explain to you, sir. You're not willing to take my document.
Fiat Exchange 1933. You get away with money. You're traveling from South Carolina. Your name is Thomas. I'm hearing you, bro.
Yeah.
I'm hearing you work for the NEA Action Trust, right? You got open container gasoline in your car, which is not really good. Very dangerous. You know, we're just concerned about you.
All right, appreciate your concern, sir. I'm not trying to. I'm just standing up for my rights. You know, you don't have any rights if you don't stand for them. You know, and see how you could easily violated me, and if I would allow you to, the general public just allows you to do that. You actually broke the law by opening my door.
I did, huh?
Yeah, oh yeah, you did. You can't do that. I didn't give you permission. You need a constitutionally lawful warrant in order to touch my property. You cannot deprive me of my property or without due process of law, sir.
I understand.
So am I being detained right now?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's actually $10,000 per incident. If you don't have a constitutionally lawful warrant signed by a magistrate judge in wet ink, you can't illegally detain me unless you have reasonable articulate suspicion that I'm in the process of committing a crime.
Okay.
Now, this would be a great video to play Soft-Sit Bingo with because he's reeling off all the greatest hits. There's the old favourite, I know my rights, or you violated my rights, which is strange coming from someone who claims to have cancelled all his contracts with the government. Then we have private property when referring to his car, and finally, two of my all-time favourites. First is the lawsuit, or $10,000 per incident, etc., and the warrant signed by a judge in wet ink. Oh, and by the way, he doesn't need RAC, only probable cause, which he has in buckets, because you're driving without a licence, registration and insurance. And that open container of gas looks like it's going to be a problem as well.
Or probable cause. Do you have any of those, sir?
Yep.
You have reasonable articulate suspicion that I've committed a crime?
Yes, I do.
What crime was committed? That's a traffic infraction.
Driving without a license. No, it's actually criminal in this state, sir. You'd be arrested for it.
No.
Like I said, we have a supervisor on our way. We're going to talk to him and find out what's
under the
going on,
Constitution,
right?
these are victimless crimes, sir. That's what the problem is in America. I'm standing against victimless crimes.
You're going to talk to the supervisor. He's probably the smartest guy here.
Sounds
so
good. Sounds good, brother. Yeah.
No, the problem in America is people like you who drive around committing crimes and sharing false information, which gets you and other people in trouble with the law. So no, you're not standing against anything, because what you claim is a victimless crime is still considered a crime whether you like it or not.
Yeah, I think he should inform you about being recklessly negligent.
I'm sure he will.
And not accepting my documents, because you're legally bound right now. The American National People of the Creator will, we have our whole legal. We have a federal court case filed.
This is going to be Instagram, you said, or YouTube?
Yeah.
What is this on?
This is on my Instagram channel, which is The Gift of Eternal Life.
Okay.
And I also post it on Facebook as well. So I have a large following. I educate officers, and I also educate the public on public and private law. Okay. So, and I'm one of the lead investigators with the National Action Task Force.
Now, what does it say about his organisation if this guy is considered one of their lead investigators? Of course, in reality, this quote-unquote organisation is just him living out of his car, going from state to state, grifting for money by selling this American national nonsense to gullible people. Anyway, the supervisor in the form of the lieutenant is here to finally put an end to this nonsense. Well, at least eventually, because we have the fee schedule coming up.
Lieutenant Flynn, you can explain your situation.
Sounds good. I was trying to give him public notice of my private capacity. He's refused multiple times. You know, and you know, I'm just educating. I educate the officers and the public on public and private law. So I've canceled all my government contracts. I'm now living in the private. This is my private conveyance. I've canceled my license. I no longer contract with the government. Okay, and I have the Constitution right here. You guys took in an oath to protect and defend my constitutional right to privacy. You guys cannot force me to contract with government agencies. You know, and I cancel my license. Black's law definition of driving is to be.
And you canceled it. So you canceled it from
Yeah,
state.
Minnesota.
So you cancelled your licence because you read a definition, an outdated definition in Black's Law Dictionary. Well, that was a really stupid thing to do, wasn't it? One simple Google search could have saved you so much time in the Grey Bar Hotel.
So here's official notice to your agency. You must take this, sir, because it becomes legally binding once you. And if you refuse it, it's reckless negligence because it informs you about my rights. And if you violate them, my nation's embassy is in California, and here's our international 35-page notice, which is registered and with the Secretary of State's office in Washington, D.C. and in Singapore.
Yeah, because filing paperwork with government agencies you don't recognise in the US and for some reason Singapore sounds like a really sane thing to do. But just for your peace of mind, I can confirm that your filings have been accepted and filed in the special filing cabinet labelled trash.
Here's my private identification, which is copyrighted. And I'm legally indemnified through our silver bond, which is my legally.
I asked the control to run on everything.
Yeah, I've canceled all my contracts. I've canceled all my contracts. I'm no longer in your.
You did have one though.
Could you pass us that ID, please?
2018. Yeah, and this goes with it. So this is legal notice that goes with my ID. Legal notice in order to all.
And this is an ID,
Yeah.
which is what?
My American national identification. This is for your agency as well, sir. You guys must take this notice.
And
See, they're refusing again, guys. I have like 50,000 followers that are watching as well, so.
Dude, enough with the flexing about Instagram. Nobody cares about how many followers you have. This is the real world with real life consequences. You might be able to BS your way through this on Instagram, but not with cops who clearly have inbuilt bullshit detectors.
I'm just informing you guys because, you know, if you don't have any rights if you don't stand for them. In a world full of oppression right now, they're taking all of our rights from us. I just canceled all my contracts and I put my hand in God's hand and was like, God, take my hand, because you know what's gonna happen if we just let you guys to keep plowing us like this. It's gonna be, you know what I'm saying? So people are watching. Look at all the love I'm getting. Hallelujah, guys.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. No, follow me on Instagram. I got quite a few. I travel all over and I get pulled over all the time.
Thomas the Second Life. What was it again?
The gift of eternal life.
Gift of eternal life.
Yeah, on Instagram.
So that's the ID that you have right there, the gift of eternal life. That's what that.
No, that's my private identification. Yeah. Thomas Humphrey. Yeah.
So when we run you in Minnesota, you can have a Minnesota license?
Nope, it's all canceled. I'm not even. They say they're not even finding me in the computer.
Run this guy in Minnesota, and I'm not kidding here, an arrest for stealing a vial of Johnson & Johnson's COVID-19 vaccine to quote-unquote investigate in a lab will pop up. Then there's the arrest around the same time where he attempted the same right to travel BS, and then he fled the state, and well, I've been covering his shenanigans ever since. A link to those videos will be in the description.
When was the last time you mentioned you get pulled over quite a bit? When was the last time you got pulled over?
It's been a while actually. You know, you guys are the first ones, but I mean, I've been pulled over like. That's like why I'm so popular, because they pull me over all the time, and you know what I'm saying, he's like not even trying to hear what I have to say, but a lot of people, a lot of officers are interested. They know I'm not just talking out the side of my mouth.
Thomas, it's called humour. These cops, if they exist, because you always seem to get yourself arrested doing this, are humouring you. Cops deal with people who talk out of the side of their mouths like you do on a daily basis. it does not mean they agree with you.
We have a job to do as well.
Right. You guys are hired to uphold public policy, which they're actually liable. You know what I'm saying? When you contract. But I've sent in notice. I've sent in all the documentation canceling my contracts due to the lack of full disclosure on their end. Is my right to travel freely and unencumbered and unfettered on the common way of mankind during this time. That's Supreme Court justice who ruled since the 1800s. If it's the common way of travel during your time, it's a God-given, unalienable right. No government agency can restrict your freedom to travel.
Cancels all his contracts with the government, then goes on to cite decisions by the judiciary in the form of the Supreme Court, you know, a governmental body, as an authority. You cannot make this stuff up. Also, seeing as you now do accept Supreme Court rulings, you should accept Hendricks v Maryland, which is the seminal ruling ceding to the states the right and power to regulate taxpayer-supported, publicly accessible roads. But I know you'll handwave dismiss that because it doesn't fit with your narrative.
We're looking to see if you still have a license in Minnesota. And how about the vehicle itself?
This is mine. I purchased the vehicle. Well, it's my private property.
All right. And you're not going to show us the VIN. You're not going to.
No, it's my. I mean, it's my. It's my right to privacy because everything in your system is all registered and it's all part of the agency. Yep, took off the sticker because dude, it's my right to privacy. If you guys have to legally violate my rights, and you're going to do it on a live stream.
I think the penny is starting to drop now. This guy has pulled this routine so many times that he knows when the magic words and incantations aren't working. So much so that he comes out with statements like, "You guys have to legally violate my rights," which of course doesn't make a lick of sense. But anyway, he gives it one last go by threatening them with the dreaded fee schedule.
And I'm telling you, it's on page 3 in our documentation. Minimum penalties for trespassing upon American national rights are inherent natural rights, unwarranted pedestrian stops, $10,000 each incident, $5,000 for every 5 minutes illegally detained.
Okay.
If detained in handcuffs, it's $100,000 per incident, $10,000 for every 5 minutes detained after. A signed warrant must be present for an arrest to take place or a criminal act with an injured party. You guys must have reasonable articulate suspicion that I'm committing a crime or probable cause in order to illegally detain me.
Yeah, I think they're going to be doing a bit more than detaining you tonight. And that was the biggest load of word salad I've ever heard. And I think you meant to say they need probable cause to legally detain you, not illegally detain you, which of course they have because, by your own admission through ignorance of the law, you're driving without a licence, registration and insurance. And good luck collecting that fee schedule because not one person has ever been successful.
So, you know, and we have a federal court case filed, which in case of one of your agents violate my rights, we're able to file claims against your liability bond. So, I mean, you're welcome to violate my rights if you want to, but I mean...
And tonight you're telling us that the car's unregistered, it's uninsured, and you have no license.
No, sir, it is insured. I'm trying to hand you my documents, okay, and you're refusing to take them. So
we have to verify it through.
Yep.
That's how,
so this is official notice to what police department are you? Cambridge? All right, this is official notice to the Cambridge Police Department of my private capacity. Thank you. You've taken it. It becomes legally binding, and it is advantageous for you to read that.
Copy?
Yep, that's yours, sir. I have multiple copies.
Just look how thrilled he is that he finally got a cop to accept his useless notice. He actually thinks that everything he presents here, including his fee schedule, which he's tried and failed with on numerous occasions now, is legally binding. I mean, how sad.
So it's advantageous for you to read that.
What about your vehicle? Is your vehicle insured?
Yes, that's my insurance. I'm bonded underneath our nation's silver bond, and it's for liability. The American national people of the creator. If you believe I violated any laws or rights, you have to contact.
So it's not registered. The vehicle's not registered anywhere.
It's in a private trust.
So it's not registered. Okay.
No, it's not. Not registered, sir.
Tom, is that your name since you were born, or did you pick
Yes.
that name?
Yes, my
That's the
name.
you said,
Thomas
your birth
Edward
certificate?
Humphrey. Yeah.
You went to middle school, high school, that name?
Yes.
Okay.
I've canceled all my contracts.
Well, there's usually a record still. That's,
Yeah,
you know.
when you, there's no such thing as you can't just expunge your record from a driver's license or anything else. So right now you're unregistered, you're uninsured,
I am.
and you're unlicensed.
I've canceled all my contracts. It's a Black's law definition of driving is to be engaged in commerce on public roads. I'm not a commercial driver. I'm a traveler, sir.
I'm not sure how many times I've said this now, but soft-sits just keep on repeating it, so here we are again. Black's Law Dictionary doesn't say anything about driving being commercial. When it says a person employed in, it simply means engaged in the activity of, as in, how do you employ your time? So, there it is. Anyway, he's about to find this out the hard way.
I'll take it, yeah. License and, right?
Unregistered and uninsured, yeah.
Can you step off on me, Thomas, please?
Wow, guys, I live in here, man. This is
With all due respect, I mean, we're treating you respectfully, and like you said, fines and penalties and everything's in there. So.
What's that?
We're treating you with all due respect and whatnot, but step up, please.
So what do you guys tow my vehicle?
We're going to talk to you about it. Step up.
All right. See, sometimes it just, you know, they won't listen to you, but they've been put on notice though, so.
Which means absolutely nothing, because for the millionth time, you are legally required to have a license, registration and insurance. And pretending to cancel contracts that don't exist and spouting pseudo-legal garbage will not change a thing. Hence why you're being placed in silver bracelets.
We appreciate the respect.
Do you have any weapons on your own, Thomas?
No, sir.
Okay, do you mind just face the cop on me?
This car was hit by a motor vehicle that was trying to
Again, you've been respectful. We appreciate that.
Yeah. Why am I being put under arrest though?
Because you are driving unlicensed, sir. You're driving an unregistered vehicle and you're driving an uninsured vehicle, okay? Do you have anything in your pocket that's going to poke me or stick me?
No, sir.
Okay. Do me a favor, walk back here in front of my car.
Can you fix this hand? It's like stuck.
Is there anything in the vehicle?
No,
Would
sir.
you like a phone? Would you like a phone?
Yes, please, and I need my manila envelope.
With all these papers
Yeah.
in the phone? What else would you like to take?
people in that town.
Charger and
Appreciate you.
And off he goes to jail again. So for the record, he's been arrested in Minnesota, Missouri and now Massachusetts. So be on the lookout for future arrest videos from Maine, Maryland, Mississippi and Montana. Because states beginning with M seem to be a theme with Thomas for some reason, or it's just a happy coincidence. Anyway, thanks for watching guys. If you enjoyed this video, then please leave me a like, share the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you also to my channel members and patrons for your continued support. Right, take care all, and I will catch up with you in the next video.